Welcome back guys to another episode on this channel, The Fitness Enthusiast. Today's topic I'm going to be talking of the metabolism. Okay, so today's video is all about what is metabolism and how do you cope up with these metabolisms to really increase your metabolisms. Actually, in essence, there is not a lot you could do to boost up your metabolism, but there is something you could do to actually fast it off. I mean, to an extent, you would influence the metabolisms to happen. Okay, the process of this metabolisms to happen. So, without wasting any time, let's just get deep into it. So, what exactly is metabolisms? Okay. So, metabolism is nothing but whatever you eat, that food is going to be converted into energy. Okay, so that energy would be in turn used by your body to functions or to even sustain, right? So that is your metabolism. So metabolism is nothing but the conversions of food into energies as fuel, so that fuel will be used by your body to functions for its own sustainability, right? And the number one thing you have to understand about the metabolism is, when we are talking of metabolism, it happens in each and every cells in our body. So this is the number one thing. Metabolism happens in each and every cells of our body. Okay. It cannot be dormant in some cells and it will be present. It will be happening in some other cells. Okay. But their job could be different in different cells. Based on their positions, based on their organs, there will be a part of. If it is going to be, let's say for instance, if a muscle tissue will be a part of your muscle cells, okay, so that functionality of that muscle cells will be different than your cell in your brain, okay. So their job will be different, you could see, right? But the metabolism, I mean, to use that energy to do some kind of job would be needed. The job could be different, but the energy would be needed to do a particular type of job, and depending upon their locations or depending upon their organs, could be different. Okay. So this is the number one thing. Metabolism happens in each and every cells in your body. And the number two thing is, you can't really lose weight to spike up your metabolisms, because it is quite notorious that people think that if one would lose weight by putting those extra hours in the gym or put it in supplement, okay, they will be literally getting down their muscle, getting down their weight, and they're thinking that they were literally spiking up their metabolism, which is completely untrue, because as long as you're being into a diet and your weight is being dropped, it is highly unlikely you would retain those muscle mass you've been carried around for a longer time. Okay, it might be possible that your weight has been dropping, okay, but your long run, it would hurt you in the long run. Your metabolism will be slowed down on a long run, because there is a study shows, there was a reality TV show called The Biggest Loser. Okay, so in that reality show before that reality show begins, there were 14 participants who were getting into this reality show to reduce weight, and they were into a crash diet. Okay, and after this crash diet, which was of course 20 weeks, after 20 weeks they were dramatically reduced their weights. I mean, each such individuals were dramatically improved as they were literally get rid of those weights. But when the reality show finished, the study gets started after 6 years to get to know about their body statistics, and 10 of those participants were literally gain the weight that they were getting into this reality show before, right? So they are actually getting the weight, more weight than before they were getting into this reality show. So they were getting the more weight than they were getting into this reality show before. Okay. So their weight were increased in 10 participants, and for 4 participants, their waistlines were increased. At least they were getting their weights, which they were dropped quite significant after 20 weeks of crash diet. So that weight was increasing gradually there, so that their waistline, so that their cholesterol, their lipid, all were increasing. Okay, which is not a good indicator, because that leads to several other issues like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, right? You name it, right? So these are potential life risks associated to these diseases. This should be a great marker to these diseases, right? So you'll get to a stroke if you have all those diseases like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, high lipid. So you are prone to strokes, right? So they were literally the biggest loser of that show. I mean, the show was just the biggest loser show, and what exactly happens to them after 6 years to their body compositions. I mean, they're literally getting fat, which they were subsided in 30 weeks by doing those crash diets. So there are no meaning to it. Why this happens? Because since you have been into positions where body were likely to get into those body weight, once you've been there for a while, okay, and when you drop off the weights, okay, there are certain types of hormones, there are certain types of metabolisms, certain types of hunger would kick in, okay. Your brain would then slow down your metabolism, okay. It would increase the hunger, okay. It would increase the satiety towards the food, okay. So that in that fashion, the persons would get more meals because he would get hungry in that process. And since the brain indicates the body to slow down the metabolism and increase the hunger, so you're actually getting less metabolize your food, right? So it was happening to these individuals, those are participated in this Biggest Loser show. After their 20 weeks crash diet, they were literally getting 500 calories less. They were burning 500 calories less each single day. Even though their weight was improving little by little, but they were literally unable to break down 500 calories, which could be equivalent to a meal they are burning a day. So you could think like that, okay. So how actually this sudden weight drop would actually lead to a sudden decrease in metabolisms over a period of time, which would make them in fat persons, okay. So this is what we mean by your bodily likely set point, okay. So your body would vigorously defend against weight drop, okay. It would vigorously defend your weight than it does with weight loss, okay. So when we're increasing your weight, your body will not fight back, so it will let that happen. But when we're decreasing the weight, body would fight back to defend the previous weight you have, so to get into that weight range, which is called a set point to that weight, right? So body is vigorously fight against weight loss, okay, to defend the weight gains that it previously attained. than body would do fat gain or weight gain, say, right? So this is the number two things. So number two things is like you not literally spiking up your metabolisms when you're dropping your weight quite significantly. But if you drop your weight quite steadily, a study shows there is no such metabolisms that has been affected, especially your basal metabolism, which is the number of calories your body burns down at rest. Okay, and 60 to 80% of your total caloric expenditures are your basal metabolic rate. Okay, this is where most of your calories were burnt out. And okay, so this is the number one thing. Okay, so what is basal metabolic rate? Okay, again, so the basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body would break down at rest, and there is a division of those basal metabolic rates within a unit of time. Okay, how much of calories is been burning within a unit of time by your heart, kidneys, liver, brain, fat tissue, fat-free muscle tissue, and your digestive systems also, right? So the study shows your fat tissue likely to burn down for a unit of time 3%, where your muscle tissue will break down 27% per unit of time. So in a process, when you are increasing your weight in terms of muscle mass, pure muscle mass, lean muscle mass, your metabolism will get higher. But there is a caveat to it that your metabolism would be spiked up, since the logic says as much as individuals are carrying the lean muscle tissue, the metabolism would be higher. But there is literally a caveat to it, because since your metabolism has been high due to your high muscle mass, lean muscle mass, so in that process you would be hungry, and you would force your body to not to fight to the hunger, right? You would force to fight with the hunger, because your body would be demanding more food than to be able to for those extra muscle, right? So in that process, you would add those weights, you would add those calories again, and which would substantially go into your muscle cells, since you increase your muscle cells. So for their regenerations and recuperations of muscle, you need more calories, so your muscle mass will be increased over time, and you would not find yourself as muscle loss position. Okay, so when you have more muscle mass, you tend to acquire more muscle mass in that process, because you are becoming hungry, and once you get down those extra calories, those calories will again break down in terms of protein, so that calories would again be converted back, if it is going to be a protein, so that those calories would again be converted into your amino acids, and these amino acids are building block of your muscles for your regenerations or recuperation. So you would get new muscle tissue in that process, and you would be noticeably put more muscle mass, right? So this is one thing. We're not getting lean, right, by putting extra muscle tissue. Okay, we're not going to be leaned. We're going to be add on weight, carrying all those muscle masses on, right? So your weight is not going to be dropped significantly, because your muscle mass, you need much more calories, and again those calories should come up from those proteins, so that would be eventually breaking down into amino acids for the recuperation and regenerations, and your muscle mass would be increased and your weight would be increased. But those weights are your lean muscle mass weights, right? So which is a good thing. and your metabolism will be higher also, right? And these are the things you have to understand about metabolism. One more thing is the people those are younger compared to those who are older are having higher metabolism, right? So the people those are younger having higher metabolism than the people who are older, because the study shows after 20, in each decade the metabolism has been reduced by 1 to 2% for basal metabolism, okay, which is much more countable, right, than your activity, I mean intense activity on your digestive system metabolism, okay. Your basal metabolic rate is 60 to 80%, and the rest of the caloric expenditures for your intense activity and your digestive systems, okay, to break down your food and your intense activities. Those extra energy is needed, or 60 to 80% when your body is completely at rest, and all those organs and tissue would use that energy as they would to sustain or to do some functions when they're at rest, okay. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you do enjoy these videos, please do like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, so the further video I'll be uploading, and no longer you'll be getting to know about in no longer, right? So that's it, guys. See you in the next video, and until then, bye bye, take care, and stay true to your passion. Always stay true to your passion.